What's this doing here?
It's decomposing.
Just like your brain.
Welcome. You're probably wondering why you've been brought here. The truth is you have just been infected with a visually transmitted virus. Any attempt to close this video will result in an instantaneous yet incredibly painful death. The only known cure for this condition shall be transmitted to you at the end of this video. It is therefore of utmost importance that you watch the following attentively. And do not attempt to forward to the end. We have thought of that. It'll just make your death worse. Thank you, and enjoy.
Do you compost? Yes or no? And okay, no.
No.
And why?
I just don't have the resources to compost. Somebody gives me a box and puts it in my kitchen, I'd compost, but I just have a garbage can, so I just throw it out.
Okay. Thank you. Do you compost? Yes or no? And why?
Yes, we compost, basically because it's a lot better to put banana peels and stuff in a compost where they'll be reused, then throw it in a landfill where it's just going to be garbage.
Alright, solid. Do you compost? Yes or no? And why?
No, I don't work in the garden.
With modern suburban lifestyles, it's hard to imagine why anyone would choose not to compost on a regular basis. In fact, with the size of these lots, including garden space, composting would prove to be a valuable tool in our efforts. Instead of relegating such a useful resource to the landfills, it can be put to a beneficial purpose in these beautiful lush gardens to be. The issue at hand is composting. Composting, as we all know, is the controlled decomposition of household organic waste for the purposes of producing fertilizer. This fertilizer has a great many benefits over the standard artificial and commercial fertilizers produced at stores. As you are able to see, compost begins as organic matter, which enters a composter. It then exits as this brown material, compost, which is useful for fertilizing your gardens and lawns. Most people think that this material is not worth their time, but in fact, it can save them upwards of $50 a year. Many people find that composting is a hassle during the winter because they find it difficult to access their composter during the winter months. But as you can see, in certain situations, it can be easier to access your compost than to haul a garbage bag to your curb. Therefore, placement plays a large role in facilitating the process and by maintaining your motivation to continue. Now, even in a process as simple as composting, there are rules that one must follow. For example, these are items that one cannot compost. Any animal products, any breads, any oils, or milk products cannot be composted. This is because when they decompose, they produce a foul stench and attract large amounts of animals to your composter, leading to some, let's say, unpleasant circumstances. Now, even with compostable materials, there is a distinction to be made. There are green materials and brown materials. These must be kept between a 1:1 and 3:1 ratio in order to ensure that your compost is useful for your plant life. Green materials are foodstuffs containing nitrogen. Most of your kitchen waste will be of the green variety. Your brown materials can be found in kitchen waste such as coffee grounds and eggshells, as well as being found outside in the forms of dry leaves or waste topsoil.
An average composter can cost approximately $60 and can be purchased at most hardware or gardening centers. Important features of a composter are that it must readily absorb heat, the base must be exposed to soil, and the container must be able to withstand the decomposition of the matter contained therein. It is also important to ensure that the container is resilient enough to withstand the likely rummagings of wild animals.
Today we'll be going through someone's garbage, determining what can be composted, what can be recycled, and what can go into the garbage. Now this person has admitted to not being a composter, as well as having a member in their family being a very poor recycler. So let's begin. Number 6 plastic such as this has to be thrown out because it is not recycled in our area. However, plastic such as this can be. So it's important to recycle all plastics. Ideally, these should be washed before put into the recycling bin. Okay, while this is recycled material, it is unfortunately laced with fat, mostly animal fat, and as a result it cannot be recycled. Okay, so batteries are an interesting issue. Technically you're not really supposed to throw them out in the garbage because they can leak toxic materials and explode. So, and then some municipalities, they have programs set up where they collect toxic materials such as this, like batteries and old computers, and they dispose of them properly. Big bag of garbage. This is the actual amount of garbage that is actually garbage. This is recyclable material that we collected and spread out. Although some of it's unclean, it's still recyclable material. And then over here is the compostable material, which can be thrown into a compost. So as you can see, if with a certain, like all the recycled material is put into the recycling, the garbage that can be thrown out and the compost is essentially 1-to-1. So 50% of your garbage can be put inside your compost as opposed to in a landfill.
And that's composting. Now that you've seen how easy it is, just get out there and do it. Oh, and about the cure, it was all along. Thanks. Have a good day.